taken away some of the obstacles for people to attend things they want to attend. For example, they may live in Denver, but, you know, a 45-minute commute in for 1 hour and then 45-minute commute back is just not doable. They don't come. People with families, you know, like you can probably hear my kids in the background, but like my point is that we've now opened up these possibilities for people who would normally have other constraints and who would not be able to attend programming. The other thing I think that can be really nice about this situation is the community building aspect. So, you know, Zoom is not in person, but Zoom still can help with that isolation factor. We just need to make sure that, you know, we are creating virtual communities instead of, you know, in-person communities. So I told you guys I got the tenure track job. I got tenure. I was an associate professor. And then I ended up with a really aggressive form of cancer. And that came, you know, it was very surprising. Diagnosis was very surprising and the prognosis was not good. And so, you know, the short version is that I had to leave my job because the prognosis was so bad, which meant that I left tenure. And then guess what? I didn't die. So when we talk about like pivoting, this is what I mean. Like I had always just thought I was going to be a professor my whole life. And that was it. I mean, like I went through all the stuff, I did all the things. And then I was out here and I needed to find a way to support my kids. And I found a job at CU that paid $36,000 a year. Now you have to imagine living in Boulder. And I took that and I worked the heck out of it for 2 years and made it into a career. I had to pivot. And during that time, I'm not going to say I was not super, super depressed. I mean, I went from like I said, I went from like having tenure and having like quite a bit of clout to editing people's dissertations. Like it was a real rough go. And I had to work 3 jobs to be able to support my kids. And every day I would wake up and I'd play chicken with myself. I'd be like, is today the day that I don't go in? Is today the day I give up? Am I done or am I tired? And that was the question I had to keep asking myself. And every day I would say, I'm tired, but I'm not done. And then eventually it all, you know, like I worked hard and it worked out. But this is plan B. I'm not saying it's not my dream job and it's not like wonderful and awesome, but it's not what plan A was for me. Like I had to pivot and now I'm an administrator. I'm doing a lot of program development. I love what I do. I never could have imagined this in a million years, but I'll tell you, like the road to getting here meant that my whole identity was turned upside down. So for these students that have like, you know, this was plan A and now I don't know what to do, I just want you to know, like, you're in good company. There are a lot of students out there with this exact same issue. Like, this was my dream. This is why I went to grad school, because I wanted to become a professor. And then, you know, lo and behold, 2020 kicked everybody in the tuckus. And now we're here trying to figure out what to do. Just don't give up. Don't give up, because there are other jobs out there that you can use your PhD in that will mean so much to you. There isn't just one option. And if you think there's just one option, you're closing yourself off from so many other possibilities. It's not easy. Like, I feel like an a-hole sitting here saying, well, pivot, you know, and just grind it out and work hard. But I'm telling you, like, I had to do it and I know how hard it is. But I also have the respect I have for myself now. The greatest ever. Like, I know it's wonderful, don't get me wrong. But like, when I look at myself now, I know I'm capable of all of the things and I'm not scared anymore. And so like if plan B doesn't work out, I know I'll come up with a C, but I didn't know that about myself before. So instead of looking at this as like the year that, you know, screwed everything up for you, look at it as the year that made you stronger, because it is going to require more of you to pull out of this and to figure out what to do. But you don't have to do it alone. And I'm not plugging seminar when I say this, but like the isolation factor though, like when the depression that we talked about, like, obviously I'm not a substitute for therapy, but when you look at like intervention services, the very first thing that grad students should do is to create informed communities. That is usually step one. But because that requires effort, and when people are depressed, they don't feel like doing it, that tends to be what they skip over. And then they just go straight to CAPS or, their personal, like off-campus therapy, whatever the case might be. But like right now is the time to just figure out, like, you're not alone. And I know how bad you feel. And a lot of other people are feeling that way. And I'm not here to say misery loves company, but I am here to say, like, the community factor and seeing what other people are doing and being able to share, your fears and your successes and all of these things in a non-judgmental environment is so important right now. And so I would encourage you guys, if you want to join seminar, because we have awesome communities. And those students, they're never alone. And so I think that's the other piece, is like, don't withdraw because plan A is not happening and you're sad and you feel like you should be alone when you're sad. Because I have seminars full of students that are feeling pretty bummed out, but who are also super tough and gritty and are working on plan B and C. And, there's a lot to be said for that. I have trouble quitting things. So I'm saying this from probably a not very neutral place. Once I've invested enough time and energy into something, I tend to want to see it through, even if it's not beneficial to me. So this is the piece that I think, like, the student would have to examine. Does the PhD help get you what you want? Or is the PhD about a title? Like, is it just about, like, having a PhD? I think if you're pretty far into it, you're ABD and you're just not feeling it, just write that dissertation. No one's expecting it to change the world. It doesn't need to be the most brilliant piece of original research that ever came across a person's desk. In fact, it won't be. You will look back on this in 5 years and be like, God, that was trash. Like, it's not gonna be the best thing you ever do. So make it good enough, graduate, get out, and figure out what to do. If you're just starting and you're like, ooh, I don't know about this, then the conversation needs to be different. Why are you here? Is the PhD about a value system that you have? Is the PhD about, your future career? Is the PhD sort of a bridge because you didn't know what to do when you were done with your master's, whatever the case might be? Those are the types of questions you need to be answering at that point. Because if it's just a thing that you're doing, I don't know, like, that's a big investment of time and resources, and job prospects right now for PhDs are, especially in academia industry, they're great. So, I think you'd have to weigh all that. So I want to start with, so my colleague, Sarah Tynan, runs a publication boot camp for us, and it's 12 weeks and it's really great. Students love it because you kind of get into your, get all your work done, publish, move on, and sometimes the external accountability piece is what enables people to actually do that. So I highly encourage that. And then there's Endurance PhD, which is the program that I developed. And we follow you from the start to the finish of grad school, and you move up. So we end up, learning different things, moving on. The first year we focus on, like, all the terminology you need to know. What does your energy budget look like? When are you most productive? What are your values, like the basic pieces? And then by the end, we are refining and tweaking systems to such a degree that you are like just this well-oiled productivity machine. And what we want to do is create an environment where you can have, like, a very full life that's not just academia, and still do the research that you love. And I think all that's possible. So Endurance PhD is awesome. We're going to be taking new students next semester. So if you guys are interested, please reach out and ask. We have so many workshops, on time management. So if you just want to one-off things here or there, you can do that with the grad school too. But I would really love to see people in seminar. And I know it's a heavy lift to get started. This is one of the things we talk about. It's like, what are the barriers that exist to you doing certain things? And it's like, well, I'll be in a new group. I'll be in with new people. I won't know anyone. It's an hour a week and I'm already busy. There are all these reasons not to do things. But I'm telling you, the students that come, they don't leave, and it's because it works. And all I want to do is improve the graduate experience holistically from start to finish. And I want to do that for as many people as possible. So, I don't know how to plug it in like a really organized way. I just know to say, like, please come, please sign up next semester. And if you're new, join that first year group, and everyone else is new too. So you won't have to feel strange at all. But my students that have been with me for 5-6 years, some of them are very dear friends of mine now, and they're very close friends with each other. So like, we do build communities, we do support each other, and I will drag you guys across that finish line if I have to make sure you get out of here, and that you graduate. So, yeah, I just want to help. So we'd be excited to have you. And the grad school has tons of really amazing programming that I'd love to introduce you all to.